Welcome everyone back to Eat Sleep Brief. So we got a very busy video. I'm going to quickly run through the very fast update I'm be doing. I have added 3 fish, 2 chromuses, and 1 damsel as of last week. I'll be having a full video on that in the future. Now I'm sure you guys remember last week's video where I did the new tank syndrome with the algae. As you can see, that's all gone. I know a lot of you guys want to see what the heck did I do, what happened, what's going on, how can I do that in my tank because my tank's dealing with it. I'm actually going to have that in a future video. I found out exactly what was the cause of that algae outbreak. A lot of tanks, will go through their ups and downs. We can either let them be, we can guide them, we can help them. I personally chose to help my tank, whether through water changes or stuff of that sort. But again, I am going to be covering in a future video. You can see there's a lot less of it available. I figured out exactly why it actually came into my tank, which is why I want to do another video to tell you guys not only how to deal with it, but more importantly, what you can do to take it out of your tank. I'm actually doing a video on today on a product that has made a pretty decent splash. I'm pretty sure you guys have seen it on Instagram. I had tons of people messaging me wanting to see me review and get my honest opinion on the new XR30 generation 5. It's crazy to see this is the 5th generation of the Radion, and a long-awaited update. I think they had the previous generation running for about 3 years, so it's very cool to see them finally release the G5, and very interesting to see them really change the whole layout of the LEDs. Obviously, people want to specifically see me comparing them to my Blaze Illumagic Minis, which I have mounted there. You can see it's 2 of them. So it's going to be very, very cool to see. This new light is 100% compatible with the new Mobius app, which is supposed to be a lot easier to use. So we're going to see how that goes. Obviously, full spectrum. It has, of course, their HEI optics. Multi-light operation. So in other words, it's able to hook up to more lights. It also has lunar light, which is going to be pretty interesting to see. Android and iOS compatible. So obviously, before we open up the light, it's essentially, I believe it's the same dimensions as the previous versions, at least the G4. You can see it's a 7 width by 11.8 inches in length, and the thickness is what, that's not 14, that's 1.4 inches or 3.5 centimeters. Now there's 2 versions of this light. There is the blue version, which is what I have here, and there's the Pro version. One thing I really liked that they did now, the blue version is really meant for people that love the Coral Lab AB Plus. When I had my JBJ, I always ran the Coral Lab AB Plus, had great success with it. So the way the light works, you're able to put all channels at 100%, and all you got to worry about is the intensity. So with all the channels at 100%, it gives you out of the box AB Plus. If you love the AB Plus, if you don't like the AB Plus, or you just like a little bit of that wider look, you can go with the Pro version. But they're both the same exact price. This one does have LEDs that the other one doesn't have, such as the Cayenne and the Lime. So something to look at. If you love AB Plus, this is great for you. If you don't want it to be as blue, you can lower the blues, and obviously you can get a little bit more of that wider feel. But a very quick rundown. It has cool white, royal blue, blue, photo red, lime, UV in both the 415 and the 405 nanometer. Violet, Cayenne is a brand new color, and lunar light, also a brand new color. And yeah, I believe there's a total of I think 100 LEDs. I haven't added all this up, but I want to say it's about 100 LEDs. The blue version here has a lot more lights dedicated to the blue spectrum. So again, if that's something you're into, you'd probably want to go with the blue version. Input, it's 100 to 200 VAC, 180 watts. So that's pretty powerful light. All specs are subject to change, and that's pretty much it. As you can see, I have not open this bad boy up. It is still, still sealed. Now it is back compatible with the RMS mount, so for you guys that have the RMSs, it'll work perfectly with it. The only the only accessory you are going to need is the Radion RMS G5 adapter kit, which is what you can find right here. So this is something you are going to have to buy separately, and this will make sure that this mounts to this light, so this light can mount to the RMS. So what we're going to do now is quickly open it up. I mean, there's not much to look at the light. We'll very briefly look at kind of the layout of it and what it looks like and the feel of it. More importantly, I'm pretty sure you guys want to see what it does on the tank. So mounting up the light, my honest initial thoughts on the light, I really like it. I think Ecotech did a great job on the G5, and they really did a nice job. You know, they could have changed minor things here and there, but you can really see that they completely redeveloped the light and really did their homework. More importantly, listened to what customers wanted, what they were looking for in an LED, and I really believe they honestly delivered. So first things first, there was a huge improvement on the spread compared to the previous generation. You guys know I ran G4s on my JBJ, both XR30s, XR15s. This thing, it's night and day better as far as the spread. It has no issues, as you're witnessing here, providing spread in a 24 by 24 tank. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't have any issues pushing it as far as probably 30 inches, maybe even 32 inches when it comes to spread. Another real cool thing is the light layout. You're able to see here the LEDs, the way they're laid out. They're pretty much laid out all throughout the bottom full length of the light. This again completely eliminates a single light source, and in essence, this is probably why we got a spread improvement on the LED. But it's very cool. You can see there's tons of blue LEDs, so if you do go with the blue version, there's obviously going to be more blue dominant. But they did a good job. I think the diffuser plate, it's frosted in a way with the HEI optics that really allows light to pretty much go anywhere. So as far as the color improvement, they did add more colors. I'd say the blues aren't as deep as they were on a G5. Remember the G5 had, sorry, the G4 had kind of like an unnatural blue look as well as a very dominant purple look. I don't know, if you guys are G4 owners, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. But on this light, it's a lot more natural. I think the blue is a lot, you know, it still gives you a very good pop, don't get me wrong. But I notice it's a lot nicer. So they did a good job. But it was also very cool to see, for you guys that are aware, I run Illumagics on my tank, the Blaze Minis. But it was very cool to see that that Ecotech adopted the cyan color that Illumagic has had for, I would say, what, at least 5 years. So it just goes to show that at least Illumagic for sure is on the right track. Also, Ecotech started focusing and added a few more deeper UVs. Again, this is something that my Illumagic lights already had as well. So it just reinforces, and I think why, you know, I have no issues trying out the Illumagics for my tank, because again, it's good to see that in a company as big as this now adopting those deep UVs as well as cyan colors that I'm pretty sure they saw that corals thrive on. So one very important thing that I think I want to share with you guys is the fan. So on previous generations, I remember hearing people say that the fans are super noisy. I personally never had any issue with the G4 being loud. But on this thing, guys, I'm not going to lie. The fan is loud. How loud, you may ask? I think we're all aware that the loudest part of, I think, most of our systems is what? A skimmer, right? Okay, this is probably just as loud as a skimmer. Sitting in my living room about, I would say about 10-15 feet away from the tank, I can clearly hear the fan when it comes on. The good thing though is the fan runs at a very high speed, thus it cools the unit a lot quicker. So the fan doesn't run as long. It'll run for maybe 3 minutes and then it'll shut off. Another half an hour, 40 minutes, it'll come on again. And this is only when you're running the full spectrum lighting. When I'm in my ramp up, ramp down, full blues, I never ever hear it kick on. So it's not something that you're gonna have to deal with, you know, in the later part of the day or early morning when your lights are ramping up and down. But during the day, you probably will hear it, and I don't want to lie to you guys. You will for sure hear the fan. It's gonna be hard to realize what it is first, but you'll know when you have one. But yeah. One other thing that I do want to talk about is the app. So the app, guys, obviously, as you know, it's no longer Wi-Fi compatible. It's only Bluetooth, and it's now Mobius, no longer ReefLink. So with that being said, I got to give it to them. They really delivered a super easy, super fast, easy to connect, easy to program app here with the Mobius. I remember, what, probably a year and a half ago that I was hearing rumors about it and people testing it. But you can certainly see they did do their homework. They really delivered on the app, and I highly got to give it to them. As far as programming the light, it's very easy. Pick your template, sun up, sun down, intensity, and you're done. That's it. I literally had this light set up, and I'm not even lying to you guys, in about a minute. It was that simple. So very nice of them to deliver that. It's also very cool. If you guys do like AB+, just choose the AB+ template. If you're trying to do your own custom template, all channels at 100% is AB+. So if that's, for your full photo period, put all channels at 100%, adjust the intensity, and that will give you AB+ right off the bat. It's really nice. Ecotech is making it a lot more easier to use, and I think we'll probably see a lot more companies start doing this, where all you have to do is set all your channels at 100% and only focus on the intensity, because the channels at 100% will give you the right spectrum, and that's kind of what Ecotech really focused their time on with this G5, making it really simple. Now, one thing I do want to tell you guys, and I almost killed my corals, good thing I monitor them all the time, but when I first hooked up the light, you can see on the app here on the bottom, it says percent intensity. Don't even ask me what the heck this means. I have no idea what it means. Even putting this thing at 1%, the light will still ramp up to full 100%. So maybe someone can enlighten me. Maybe someone can comment below what the heck this percentage intensity is on the bottom. I have no idea. Again, putting it at 1%, my light still goes at 100%. Long story short, the first day I installed it, I got back, I was like, everything was closed up, super pissed off. I'm like, what the heck is going on? Sure enough, they got 100% of the LED, which was quite a bit apart that they weren't used to. So the way you control the intensity, you click on the actual time itself, and you see where it says point intensity. This is what controls the intensity. So you want to do this for your ramp up, ramp down, and your main photo periods. Personally, I started at 35%. If you have more LPS, more softies, you may want to start the light at 25 and work your way up. But personally, I started at 35. Ever since I fixed that the first day, I've had no issues. Just something I gotta say to look out for. It's also very cool how you're able now to make your own custom preset. Let's say if you're like me and you're a YouTuber and Instagrammer, you always need a you always need a setup as far as lights are concerned for pictures. So here you can see I was able to create one. I can click on it, and you're able to choose how long you want this program to run before it returns to default. So it's really cool they did this. There's other menus on here that are kind of pointless. They had like a disco, a thunderstorm mode. I could care less for those, but I guess if you want to see the whole disco on your tank, you can go ahead and use that, or if you want to see thunderstorms, you can go ahead and do that as well. Now the light does have an acclimation in the app, so if you want to acclimate your corals, or maybe over time, once they're acclimated, if you want to slowly increase it, you can do that here. But yeah, guys, as you can see, the app is very easy, connects very quickly, and surprisingly for being Bluetooth, I was about 25-30 feet away and I was still able to connect to the light, so I have no complaints there. So guys, what are my final thoughts on the lights? Are the lights worth it? I mean, they're a lot of money. And nowadays, guys, I think we're beyond the spectrum war. I think all LEDs nowadays on the market can all achieve essentially the same exact spectrum. So what does it really boil down to? There's so many LED manufacturers out there that are using the same exact chips that Radion uses, being the Cree LED chips. So what does it really fall down to? It falls down to what you like. Are you an Android person? Are you an Apple guy? Kind of similar scenario. If you do purchase these lights, I can tell you, you're not guaranteed success, right? You're not guaranteed failure either, because there's a lot more variables. But if you do purchase these lights, I'm sure you'll have very good success with them. Personally, I still want to give my Illumagics a try. Why? Because why not? They've had the same colors that now the G5 has, so it obviously shows me that Illumagic certainly was onto something. If you're on the fence about LEDs, I mean, there's tons of them out there. There's this one. Obviously, my Illumagics are ones I highly recommend. If you're looking for more spread, you can go with their 2-foot, 3-foot, 4-foot, or like 5-foot version. But again, if you're more of a Radion guy, they have the XR15s, XR30s. I mean, there's tons of LED manufacturers out there. And I don't think anymore the argument is, can LEDs grow colorful SPS corals? I think that has beyond been debugged, beyond been thrown out the window, watching propagation companies like Worldwide Corals, Unique Corals, I mean, the list goes on, that all they have now is LEDs, and they're beyond producing amazing colors. Even, to be honest, some colors we hadn't even seen with T5 or halide. So I really believe that argument's out of the window. I don't even think it's a conversation anymore, to be very honest with you guys. I certainly believe LEDs can grow, color up corals like no other. So guys, I'm going to wrap the video up here. Hopefully I didn't go too long. I try to keep the review as honest as I could. Again, I did pay with my own money for this light, only to review it for you guys and give you guys an honest opinion. So I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did like it, please be sure to give me a thumbs up. It really helps me out. If you aren't subscribed, please be sure to subscribe. I got tons of more content coming your way. And I think we're going to leave this video here, guys. I really thank you guys very much for watching. As always, happy reefing.